Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. I hope you all are doing well. It is me, Victoria Baxter, the LSDR coach, life singles, dating, and relationship coach, here before you for the Sassy Saturday Special. Of course, I do this every Saturday in a means to, or in a way to just kind of give my feedback or my thoughts or advice, coaching, whatever else, for those who are just going through various stages or just whatever in different parts. And again, do this every Saturday. You can find previous videos. I've been doing this for several months now on the Facebook page, Saved and Single Sass, or the YouTube channel. If you just search Saved and Single channel, you can subscribe. Please do, and you'll find so many more past videos about different things that I've done before. Again, I'm a certified life coach, a Christian life coach, dating coach, relationship coach, and a coach for singles, primarily women. Some of you men have been challenging me here lately, coming to me for advice and whatever else. But I guess it kind of works because some of the things I hear the men say, it helps me to, provide these things to the ladies that I'm my butterflies, as I always say. And that's, of course, what I'm the most passionate about. And that's what I focus on the most. But anyways, what I wanted to talk about today for just a few minutes, desperately dating. A lot of you always hear me talk about desperately waiting. And again, that came from chapter 3 of my book, Debunking the Fairy Tale of Boaz. Copy still available. You can get that on Amazon. Also, www.thejalministry.com. You can click on shop or Saved and Single, and you'll see that book is still available. But it is packed with a lot of my horror stories, as I always say, horror, not horror story. Well, some of my horror stories too, to be completely honest. But a lot of my past shenanigans, relationships, and whatever else. But it's really a guide for single Christian women to realize, just to kind of help with, the whole healing, contentment, and preparation. Also getting a look at why you might be single, some of the things that I did wrong, and, why I did them and how it played a part into certain things. But talks about sex and soul ties and whatever else. Again, gave it that title because I wanted to debunk and dispel the myths surrounding that fairy tale that we've made up about Ruth and Boaz, because that's a beautiful story in the Bible, but it's so much deeper than that. But chapter 3 of the book I titled Desperately Waiting, and that's why I always talk about desperately waiting, because that's what a lot of women are doing right now. It's like they're saying that they're waiting, but they're doing it in a desperate way. Now, desperate does not always mean that you're going to settle, because it's like, oh, now I'm going to be picking. Nope, not him, but somebody else is going to come along. Well, I met this guy. Well, he kind of checks everything off. Well, he's kind of cute, and he's this and he's that. And somebody can just flirt with you or whatever else. And it's like, I wonder if that's going to be my husband. Or like, you know what? I realized that guy always smiles at me at church. I wonder if that's him. Or, what about the mailman? Or what about the guy at the grocery store? Whatever else. Or somebody could just reach out to you one time, anything. And you're automatically assuming that that's the person for you. That is what I mean by desperately waiting, because it's like you're waiting, but it's like, I wonder, what if? Could it be him? Could it be him? Could it be him? Because that's the person that's desperate to be in a relationship. They're desperate to get married. If every person that you meet, that you encounter, that you come in contact with, you're sizing them up and wondering, could that be him? Could that be the one? That is somebody who's desperately waiting. I want to talk today about desperately dating, because let's talk about why some of those dating ships didn't work out. Let's talk about why sometimes you only get one date and no more. Let's talk about maybe why you sometimes don't get a date at all. Let's look at a whole lot of these different things, because a lot of times what happens is we go in it the wrong way. Either the pre-date or the actual date or the post-date. We go into these things the wrong way, and you're anxious that you want it to actually become something else. You're anxious because it's about going further and whatever else, all that other good stuff. This month, I am focusing on Christian women and dating. Almost everything I do for the Sassy Saturday Special is going to be about dating. A lot of the stuff that I'm probably going to post on the page and even in the private group is going to be about dating, Christian women and dating. I feel like it's something that churches don't talk about a lot. I feel like it's something that's demonized in a sense, like God forbid you actually be dating. You should be gleaning the fields like Ruth and waiting on your Boaz. I feel like it's something that's frowned upon. Like, what do you mean you're going on a date? What do you mean you're going on a date with another guy? Well, didn't you just go on a date 2 months ago? And if it's not working out, don't you think maybe you should take some time away from dating? Says who? Let's talk about all of those different things. Also, because what I realized with a lot of the women that come to me, they're not sure if they should be dating, if they could be dating. They're not even sure how to date. They're just like, what do I do on a date? Like, what are the no's of dating? And so many people have all these rules to dating, you know, so many different things like that. Here's one thing I always tell people: pre-date, date, and post-date. Don't audition. We talked about auditioning last week, but especially when it comes to dating and desperately dating and auditioning kind of tie in a little bit. And I talked about auditioning when you're trying hard to get that role. You got to sell yourself. Like, I know I'd be good in this position, so let me show you my best attributes. Let me show you the best parts of me and whatever else. And hopefully you'll decide that you want to be with me. Let's get married and make it happen. That's auditioning. You're trying to get that role. Desperately dating, again, it kind of goes into the same thing, where before the date, you're showing them and telling them like why they should take you on a date. Like, you're going through all of this, like what he needs to do, and well, this is why, and I know, like, I'm going to do this for my man, and I'm going to be this kind of wife and whatever else, but it's going to take a special person because, you know, all this other good stuff. So it's like we're giving them all of these things ahead of time. We're telling them all of these things, still auditioning before we even got the date, but it's because we really want a date. So let me put my best foot forward, and hopefully he'll take me on a date. And I really want to go on a date because that way we'll continue to go on date, and hopefully he'll realize on the first date that I'm the one that he's been waiting for all along. And then we'll get married, and we can share that story about how, yeah, we knew after date number one, and it took no time at all. Just immediately we were right on in there. Those stories do happen. Some of us too badly want it to happen. We want it to happen to us. So again, desperately dating is when you're still feeling like you got to sell yourself in order to make it happen. And then a lot of times women, what they do, they go on a date and they're selling themselves immediately. Well, this is why my ex and I did not work, because a man is going to have to understand blah, 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 blah. Well, I've not been dating. You're actually the first man I went on a date with because I don't have time for this because of blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm dating with a purpose. So, I'm looking for someone who wants to be settled and, get serious and whatever else. And I know what I bring to the table. And this is the kind of wife I'm going to be. And let me go ahead and let you know now, I am not going to be dating for years. Or I will never do this again or whatever else. And single until someone puts a ring on it. So if you want, and I know it sounds like I'm being funny and you're probably thinking, okay, nobody does that. You'd be surprised. You'd be amazed. And again, I communicate with women often as far as this is concerned, because of the single women's ministry, and especially now going into the whole coaching aspect of it all. And in some cases, in my mind, I see why a lot of the women are still single. And I see why something didn't happen after date number one, or even after date number two. And in some cases, I see why they never got date number one. Why they never even got the date. They never even got asked out. Because of the way that we throw ourselves out there, the way that we audition, and whatever else, and try to put our best foot forward. And a lot of times when women do all of these things, and again, even post date, oh, I didn't hear back from him. Well, I'm just going to text him and, oh, yes, I got home safely. Thanks for asking, or just whatever the case might be. Or immediately, maybe he reaches out first and you're already planning a future together. You're already, wondering, well, when is date number two? Well, when is this going to happen? And all this other stuff. Like, we make dating more tiresome than it needs to be. And I think this is why so many women, they're like, I don't even know how to date. I don't even know like what's allowed and what's not allowed. So I'm just going to keep my cool and stand back and not do anything. And I did a 3-night little coaching thing like sometime last year titled The Rules of Dating, because so many Christian women, that is their concern. Like, how to date, what to date, like what are the rules? Am I allowed to date? Like, what about online dating? We talked about online dating before as well. There's nothing wrong with dating. As long as you are a woman who is not going to be desperately dating or desperately waiting, as long as you're not going into it like anxious to meet somebody. Now, I did a blog, I want to say a couple of months ago, called Looking for Lover, Searching for Lover, The Search for Lover, something like that. And what I was talking about was, are women even allowed to look? Are we even allowed to, say that we want to meet somebody? And I said, why not? If you are truly someone who is healed and whole and content with self-love, self-awareness, walking in your purpose, all that other good stuff, I don't think there's anything wrong. Even as a Christian woman, there's nothing wrong with going on a date. There's nothing wrong with signing up for a dating site, whatever. Because that also takes me to the next thing. I just say you have to make sure that you have an open mind and low expectations. And what I mean by that, when I always say it, is just keep your mind open. You never know what might happen. You never know how he might come. You never know how he, might be the opposite of what you wanted, but you never know what God might be trying to bring together. But then I say low expectations because you can't go into something thinking this is going to be it. Or every time I go on a date, yeah, something is going to come out of this. Or you can't think, okay, well, I've been chatting with this guy for a few days now. We talked all day. This one is different. This one is special. Well, of course, they're all different. You know how many times I hear that? But Victoria, this one is different. Duh. Aren't we all? We're all different. We're all created differently. But we go into it again because we're so hell bent on meeting someone and really wanting to be in a relationship. So again, we're told, go after the car you want, go after the career, the degree, the job, start that business. So some people are like, well, why can't I do that as far as a relationship is concerned? Also, if being married and starting a family is something I really want to do, why can't I do that? My thing is, why not? Why can't you? I don't think there's anything wrong with it as long as you meet certain requirements. I said I was actually going to create the relationship readiness assessment, because that's something so many women are trying to figure out. Like, well, am I healed? Am I whole? Like, am I in the clear? If you don't have any past mommy daddy issues, no past heartbreak issues that you're carrying on someplace, if you don't have, baggage and past men that you're bringing in, if you don't have this mentality that you're going to size up every man with the other man or with the other men, if you are somebody that is going to date with the purpose, and again, dating with the purpose, only you know what that dating with the purpose is. Now, I say date with the purpose as far as, yeah, we should be, as Christian women, dating with the purpose as far as, yeah, like, keep marriage on the mind. Don't let anyone string you along for years and all that other good stuff. But we got to learn to relax and have fun, because I'm realizing that so many women, they're making it a chore and a task. And I can talk about it because I did the same thing. Y'all don't realize, like, so many things that I talk about, I had to go through it first. So a lot of the knowledge and everything that I give, it's my own experiences combined with facts, combined with biblical truths to actually give all of this information. But I was out there at one point, desperately dating and anxious to meet people, and whatever else, and thinking every person that I met, they were going to be the one, and all this other good stuff, because I was anxious to meet somebody. I had no self-love, so no self-awareness. I was not healed. I was not content. I didn't know myself, nothing. I was steadily auditioning and whatever else. And I was getting frustrated because every time I would get my hopes up, it's like, false alarm. Oh, this one might really be it. False alarm. And I realized I was burnt out from dating. Like, I was literally exhausted from dating. But it's because when I look back, I had no business dating to begin with at that point in my life. I needed to be dating God, which we're going to talk about in a few weeks. I needed to be dating God and focusing on myself and my children and my healing and my purpose and my calling and my ministry and everything else. I had no business trying to date. Now, honestly, I could be. I kind of do. But it's not a focus of mine. It's not a concern. And I don't know about y'all if you've ever discovered your purpose and you're chasing your passion. But for me, what I do with all of this is all my passion and my purpose. And I had a guy who even asked me, he's like, are you ready to date? Because I can tell that you're very serious about, as I say, my butterflies and the single woman's ministry and everything like that. I was like, I don't know. I'm trying to find that balance, honestly. I don't know. Because I like women to be able to relate to me as a single, but I don't know. I guess you can't be single forever, because then it's like, well, if you're still single, how you gonna tell us what to do? You ain't got you a man yet. I don't know. People think different ways. Whatever. But yeah, if you don't have any of that other stuff that I just mentioned a couple of minutes, no past baggage, no none of that stuff. And if you're truly knowing what your purpose is for dating, and again, I said date with a purpose, but you can still have fun. I wasn't having fun. I was tired. I was making it a chore and a task. But you can go on a date and someone asks you, sure, why not? You don't have to be, oh, I mean, well, that's going to be my husband. I already know that. That ain't my husband. Da, 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 da. You don't know that. Be open-minded. Go have some fun. Because if you're already going into it thinking, well, I'm not even going to go on a date because I know that that's not my husband. Like, that means that if you, as soon as you meet someone that does check everything off the PSP list, you're going to be desperately doing it because you're already going to be thinking, well, he checks everything off. Well, what is next? What are we doing? Now what? Now you're going to have like all these timelines and these rules and whatever else, which certain things, yes, they are good, but take it easy. Take it easy. But I just wanted to touch on this a little bit as far as desperately dating is concerned. Because again, we're going to explore things later on as time goes. I'm going to be focusing on other aspects of dating and as it pertains to Christian women. I'll try to touch on stuff for some of the men as well. But dating is fine as long as you're not doing it in a desperate manner and as long as you are whole and content and walking in your purpose and you're not going into it thinking, well, I'm going to start dating and I'm going to be married in 40 days. No. So like I said, this month I am going to be focusing on it. And also because as a dating coach, y'all think I'm kidding. Like I went through certain certifications for every aspect of everything. But now as the dating coach, I want to look at for those who, yeah, the healing and contentment and everything else is fine. But I also like to focus on different people, as you can see with a lot of the stuff that I create and a lot of the content. I want to focus on those who are saying, I'm ready to date. I'm ready to date, but I've made some mistakes or I might be a little bit rusty or whatever else. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Why don't I ever get a call back? You know, why don't I ever get date number 2? Why don't I ever get date number 3? So as a dating coach, I'm about to launch the dating experiment. And with this experiment, and it is going to be limited because of all that I'm going to do and all that it's going to entail, but it's going to be, it's going to have an ebook that is going to have the results from the men that I told y'all that I've been interviewing for a couple of months now, interviewing different Christian men, but different ages, different stages, some who are single, married, divorced, some who are on wife number 2. I wanted to include a wide range of men with this specific set of questions that I had as it pertains to dating. Because as women, we can give each other advice all day long as far as this is what you should do and I wouldn't do this and whatever else. We need to hear from the men. For those who are actually, you know, they're ready and whatever else, and they're wanting to meet somebody. Let's hear from the men and see what they say. So the ebook is actually going to have the results from the men that I've interviewed, and it is going to have a certain section within that ebook, again, and you can have it right on your cell phone, and that's why I'm doing it in an ebook, so you're not like whipping out something on a date. But that way, if you're actually on a date, you'll be able to know how to properly respond to certain things. If you need to run in the bathroom, open up your book. Okay, well now, when we get to this point, now what am I supposed to do? Because some people don't know how to date. And for some of these things, and you might do it, and it might be a little practice run because he's going to go, why do you keep going to the bathroom? You don't have to explain you're checking your phone because you don't know how to respond to a certain question. But it's going to be the ebook with the results, things to do while on a date. It's going to have a lot of the rules of dating. It's going to be what many Christian women are doing wrong. But for the women who do sign up for this, and again, limited mainly because it is going to involve one-on-one coaching, individual sessions for getting dates number 1, 2, and 3, to actually carry it all along, for me to kind of examine and talk to you one-on-one to see why you can't get a date, why you don't get a second one, why you don't get a third one. I want to know, how did that date go? We're going to talk about every single thing, everything, because I'm going to help you and coach you as far as how to get to where you ultimately want to be. So you get one-on-one contact. There are going to be weekly, emails, all this other good stuff. And again, limited. And it is going to be only for those who are wanting to invest and they are serious about dating. Again, for the contentment, we're still in the middle of the road to contentment. For those who are trying to find contentment right now, being single. For SAS only, that coupon code, it is still valid if I'm not mistaken, the 40% off for just finding contentment. And another healing one is coming up. The purity journey is coming up. Again, I'm doing things for different ladies in different stages and all that other good stuff. But for those who are serious about dating, I'm about to focus on you towards the end of this month. So, hope you all enjoyed it. If you are watching this on Facebook or YouTube, please like it. It's not going to hurt you to like. It's not going to hurt you to share it. Drop a comment as well. I want to know, what did you like about this? What are your thoughts? What are your feedback? I want to know what you don't like. I want to know what you disagree with. I like hearing from people with so many different things. Anything that you would ever like for me to discuss, yep, keep them all coming. The Sass Ministry at gmail.com. The Sass, S-A-S, Ministry at gmail.com. Connect with me on the website. You can subscribe to all things Saved and Single, www.thejalministry.com. Click on Saved and Single. You can see upcoming stuff. You can see what's currently going on. There's the newsletter, that we're starting, the products of the month, all this other different stuff. Sass is going big in 2019. And I want to connect with all of you and take you all on this wonderful journey with me, because we're all in this thing together. So I look forward to talking to you all soon. For those who are listening on the podcast, thank you for tuning in. Share, subscribe, like the whole nine so that we can stay connected. God bless you all. I love you all. Have a fantastic Saturday. Got to go drink some hot tea. Y'all hear this voice? It's I've been talking too much. Take care, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.